Welcome to The Explainer. So for thousands of years, all across the globe, these ancient temples have just stood there, right, in absolute silence. I mean, think about the colossal pillars of Karnak, or those hidden step pyramids in Mesoamerica, or the sprawling stone complexes of Angkor Wat. Just picture those massive structures for a second. We're talking about hidden chambers, towering pillars, and intricate carvings that honestly seem to completely defy the technological capabilities of their eras. It's wild. These are sacred symbols etched into walls that have literally survived the violent rise and fall of entire civilizations. Over the millennia, great kings entered them, devoted priests guarded them, and everyday pilgrims traveled thousands of grueling miles just for the chance to stand inside their hallowed halls. But staring at these magnificent architectural wonders, have you ever stopped to wonder, why? Why were these specific places considered so extraordinarily sacred? Okay, let's dive into this. When we look at these ancient sentinels, we really have to ask ourselves, were these structures simply houses of worship, just spaces designed for singing and ritual, or did they protect something far more important? Were they the ultimate guardians of ancient knowledge? Did they house sacred traditions and hidden scriptures? Or maybe, did they contain humanity's deepest, most profound understanding of God and the universe itself? Today, we're going to explore one of history's greatest, most enduring mysteries by looking at the actual evidence left behind. We are going to find out exactly what secrets ancient temples really protected. Section 1. Beyond Stone and Gold. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast between what we expect and what actually was. To truly understand what these places were, we need to look way past their sheer physical scale and, the breathtaking building materials. When we picture ancient temples today, and yeah, we can definitely think Hollywood movies for this, we usually just imagine the aesthetic and the loot. Massive columns, golden statues, towering stone walls, maybe a few booby traps, right? But the ancient reality was fundamentally different. For ancient civilizations, a temple was far more than just a fancy building designed to hold shiny objects. It was a dynamic meeting place. It functioned as a center of learning, a place to preserve important writings and historical records, and a bustling community hub. They were places of prayer and teaching that directly reflected the everyday beliefs, the values, and the vibrant life of the people who actually built them. Section 2. Connecting Human and Divine. Moving from the physical community aspect to the deeply spiritual purpose of these sites, we see that across vastly different cultures, these temples served a common, incredible function. They were designed to express a widespread human desire to draw near to the divine. Take the biblical tabernacle and the later temple in Jerusalem, for example. These weren't just thrown together. They featured highly detailed measurements, really complex symbolic features, and highly defined sacred spaces. And yes, there was restricted access to certain inner sanctums. But here's the critical thing to understand. That access wasn't limited because an elite class was maliciously trying to hide knowledge from the masses. Rather, these spaces represented strict holiness and a profound sense of reverence. You couldn't just walk in because the space was quite literally viewed as the meeting point between heaven and earth. So many ancient cultures built their temples with this exact same framework in mind, believing they were building a tangible bridge between the human and the divine. Section 3. Treasures and Hidden Chambers. So taking us even deeper into the temple, what exactly was kept inside those hidden chambers? Well, it was a stunning inventory of human civilization. Sacred writings, historical records, masterful works of art, ceremonial objects, and treasures dedicated purely to worship. But here is something super fascinating. The priests operating inside weren't exactly the mystical wizards we often imagine. In many societies, they acted more like ancient accountants and strict librarians. Seriously, they meticulously tracked grain and offerings while acting as the ultimate caretakers of human memory. They were responsible for preserving religious teachings and passing that memory from one generation to the next. So again, when knowledge or access was restricted, it was just to ensure that these incredibly fragile sacred traditions were handled responsibly. In fact, much of what we know about ancient civilizations today survives exclusively because these temple records were so carefully preserved by those guardians. And this brilliantly illustrates the gap between fiction and fact. Look, stories of hidden rooms beneath temples have fascinated explorers for centuries, and it's definitely fun to imagine a magical treasure map leading to forbidden magic and overflowing chests of forgotten gold. But we really have to separate popular legend from actual archaeology. Archaeological discoveries tell a much more grounded yet equally fascinating story.
Excavations reveal practical storage rooms for that grain we just mentioned, solemn burial chambers, and yes, sometimes hidden passages used by the priesthood. While archaeology continues to uncover remarkable things, many of the highly dramatic, sensationalist claims you hear about remain entirely unverified. The true wonder here isn't some myth of an ancient treasure map, it's the real, tangible evidence of how our ancestors lived, organized their complex societies, and buried their dead.
Section 4. The ultimate secret? Wisdom. So what is at the absolute core of what these ancient sentinels were designed to protect? Shifting from physical artifacts to the intangible enlightenment that temples truly guarded, we find that the most valuable thing was not physical wealth. It was not vaults of gold. It was not jewels. It was not some sci-fi lost technology. It was something far more powerful and far more enduring. So the crucial point is, when you look past the myths, you realize the greatest secret they guarded was wisdom. Temples were the ultimate gathering places for humanity to ask life's greatest, most heavy questions. Who created the world? Why are we here? How should we live our daily lives? How do we properly honor God or the divine? These aren't just trivial questions. These are the deeply foundational ideas that shaped entire civilizations. And while the specific answers to these questions varied wildly across different cultures and continents, the search itself is what united all of humanity. The temple was the physical manifestation of that universal search for meaning. Section 5. Timeless lessons for today. As we look at the ruins of these structures today, we have to ask how the ancient past connects to us right now in the modern world. Why does uncovering all of this actually matter to you and me? Well, it matters because even today, these ancient temples continue to inspire profound awe. Their architecture reveals a level of skill that demands our absolute respect. Their stone inscriptions preserve the fragmented history of our ancestors. But ultimately, their existence serves as a towering reminder that people have always searched for meaning beyond everyday survival. Whether you personally approach these sites as active places of faith, as fascinating historical monuments, or as incredibly rich archaeological treasures, they do the exact same thing. They encourage us to pause, look up, and reflect on our own search for truth. They remind us that every single generation longs to discover a truth beyond itself. So, we finish our journey today with a final, provocative thought. Imagine you could travel back in time. If you could step through the doors of any ancient temple at the exact moment it was first completed in all of its original, pristine glory, what question would you ask the people who built it? Think about it. I'd love to hear what you come up with, so share your answer in the comments below. And make sure you're subscribed, because next week, we're bringing you a brand new explainer on the ancient scriptures they never wanted you to read. You absolutely won't want to miss that one. Keep learning, keep asking questions, and I'll see you next time.